Flack math! Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Flack math!
All right, here we go. We are going to do practice test
11.
12.
14.
14. Wow, what a number.
Hey, that's how old I am.
Hey, same, bro.
Hey, not same.
I'm 4.
Congratulations.
13.
Okay,
Just imagine.
so let's start with number 1.
Henry, I have a question.
Yeah.
What's your problem?
Everything.
1 plus 1?
Is 3.
Funny!
No, that's just not funny.
All right, we ready?
Yes,
Number
sir.
1, when Howell finished reading 163 pages of a 276-page book, he still had how many pages to read? What do you do here?
Subtract.
Subtract 276 minus 163. So 113 pages left. Not bad, right?
Yeah.
Sorry if that offended you because it was so easy. All right, Ashanti, average 9 points per game. Write the two rates.
That's strange.
So 9 points per game. You could do that, or what else could you write?
One game, you get 9 points. In
Yep, or 1 game per 9 points. Right? So you could use this as a unit multiplier. How many points would she score if she played 14 games and maintained this average? So you could use unit multipliers. 14 games, put the first unit over 1. Which one of these will cancel the games label? The first one or second one?
First one.
Yeah, so you can see 9 points per game. See how I use unit multipliers? You don't have to. You can just realize that, okay, 9 points per game. So 14 games and 14 times 9, right? 6, what is that? 126 points.
At least.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Number 3.
Whoa.
Moving right along. The average of the first 3 numbers was 4. So let's say the first 3 numbers were 4. That's the same thing because if you had 3 4s, the average would be 4, right? Average of the first 3 numbers was 4. The average of the next 7 numbers was 26. What is the average of all 10 numbers? So we're just going to add 3 4s, 4 plus 4 plus 4, 7 26s. So how many numbers total are there?
Yeah.
There's 10. So let's do that math. Let's see, that's 12 plus 112. 182. Yeah, all over 10. So what is that? 194 over 10. So what's the average?
19K.
90.4.
90.4.
Oh, I got it.
Right, when you divide by 10, you just move the decimal, right?
How about IDK?
I know.
I hate that answer.
What about question mark?
Yeah, what about question mark?
I hate question mark. Just don't, I mean, just
Exclamation point.
put a number.
Question mark.
It's possible you could get it right. Just put a stinking number. Don't put question mark.
Sorry.
No more. All right, Ward 5 reported 6 times as many votes as Ward 7. Okay, what's Ward 7? Ward 7 was 6140. So 6 times 6140. What's that? Anybody have a calculator?
Yeah.
So that's Ward 5 plus Ward 10 reported 4 times as many votes as Ward 7. So that's 4 times 6140.
It's 36,840.
Okay, and then Ward 7 of 6140. How many votes did all 3? So you're just adding one of those 6140, right? So what are the numbers again? What's this? What's this?
36,840.
Okay, and what's this?
I don't know that one.
I know it. 24,560.
Nice. and then plus 6140. All right, so now let's add all three of these together. It's 36,840 plus 24,560 plus 6140. What do you get? 57, 58 something?
67,540.
57?
67.
Okay.
Yeah.
67,000 what?
540.
All right, 540 votes. You guys understand how you do this?
Yeah.
So it's just like a 4-step math problem, I guess. Figure out how many is in each ward based on the information they give you and then add them all up. Good?
Okay.
All right, number 5 says the base of this sucker is 19 inches.
It says sucker.
The base of this sucker, whose height is 19 inches, is shown. Okay, so the height of that prism or that building is 19 floors. So to find the volume, what do we have to do?
Base times height times width.
No, that would be for a specific type of prism.
You have to cut it up first.
Okay, this is what the base looks like. All right.
Times 19.
Yeah, so find the area of this base, then multiply by 19, the height. Okay? So you're figuring out how many cubes you can fit on the floor, right? And then times 19 of those floors, that'll give it to you, right? All right, so let's see here. The dimensions are 6 by,
7.
yeah, so they kind of give it to you, don't they? Somebody wrote it in there. But you can figure it out because it's 13 minus 6 is 7. So then what's that, 7? So you can find the area of this rectangle and this rectangle. What's the area of this rectangle?
42.
42. And what's the area of this? 13 times 7?
91.
91. Okay. So the area would be that added together, right? So volume equals area of base times height. Right? Well, we just figured out the area of the base. What is that? 133. And what's our height?
19.
So Xavier, you got that? What is it?
133.
Time-
133.
Times 19.
I can tell you that it's going to be big. Okay. 2,527.
All right. So what is that? What is our units?
Inches.
What kind of inches?
Squared inches.
Volume,
Oh.
Inches
Square feet.
cubed.
cubic inches. Good job. Inches cubed or cubic inches. All right. That's how many cubic inches you can fit inside of that prism. Everyone good on this?
Oh, yes.
So it's just this area. The formula is simple. Area of base times height. But finding the area of the base, okay, that's maybe a little bit more difficult because it's a 2-part problem. But you got it, right? Number 6. Find the surface area. How do you find the surface area of a rectangular prism? What does that mean?
All
Henry?
sides.
You have to find the area of all sides and add those up.
All right, so how many faces are there? 6. So top plus bottom, which are usually the same, right? Plus front plus back. You don't have to do it in this order. Just make sure you include all 6 and left and right, right? So you got top, bottom, front, back, left, right. Okay? So that's just 3 different rectangles, right? The top and bottom are the same, front and back are the same. Okay, so what's the top? What are the dimensions of the top?
Same as the bottom.
Yep, which is what?
20 by 16.
Good. So instead of just adding another one, I'm just going to multiply it by 2. Everybody okay with that? All right, and then what's next? Front and back. I guess you can say whatever you want for the front.
16 times 2. Or
12.
16
Yep.
by 12.
So 16 by 12. There's 2 of those, right? And then
20 by 12.
20 by 12, and that's it. Okay, so what's that? 320 times 2 is 640. 16 times 12, 422 maybe? What is that? 160 plus 30, no, 492.
Oh. What?
192.
No, equals 20.
And then times 2, forgot to multiply by 2. Times 192 times 2 is 384.
384.
Okay. And then what is that? 240 times 2, which is 480. So let's add all these up. 640, 480, 384. What do you get? Good call.
Uh, 0.
4.
Is that right? Is that what you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I got.
I got,
Yeah.
wait, time?
Maybe.
Oh, you're adding them all up.
Yeah, but I did.
Okay. So what is that? Inches? So what's the unit for this one?
Cubic inches.
Not
They're
cubic,
millimeters, not inches.
because this is square. It's so square millimeters.
Square millimeters.
Okay. So you can go mm squared.
That was like my
All right. Do you know what? Do you see why these have to be square units? Because area is two-dimensional. So you're just measuring how many squares you can stick to the sides. Okay. But cubes are how many you can fit inside. That's volume. That's different.
But how big are the squares?
They are an inch by or a millimeter by a millimeter. So that's what a square millimeter means. So they're very small squares, but that's how many you can stick to the sides. Okay. I'm going to leave that up. We'll go on to number 7 over here.
Don't worry, I'll do this after. With the video.
Did that make sense? The square surface area? Okay. All right, write each number in standard notation. Okay, standard notation is nice. All you do is move the decimal. So how many places and in which direction do you move that first decimal?
4
4
to
to
the right.
the 4 to the right.
Good. 1, uh-oh, you ran out.
4 to the right power.
2, 3, 4. Does that make sense? See how I moved it 4 to the right? 1, I ran out of digits, so I need 3 more digits, so 3 zeros. Okay, everybody good with that?
Yep.
All right, what about B? 7.3 times 10 to the negative third.
3 to the left.
3 to the left. So you go 1, you ran out of digits, so you need 2 more zeros, and this time you need a decimal there. Okay, always check it. This is where you started. And you move it 3 to the left, 1, 2, 3. That works. Can you guys handle that?
Yeah.
All right. Number 8. What decimal part? Okay, I'm going to translate this. How do you say what decimal part? How do you say what decimal part? D.
WH.
And then of.
D times 1200 equals 300.
And then is equals, yep, 300. Now, how do you solve for D?
You divide.
Divide by 1200, right? Whatever you do to one side, do to the other. So now, since they're asking for a decimal part, you don't have to reduce that. Just write that in your calculator. What's 300 divided by 1200? Well, if you reduce it, it's 1/4. What decimal is 1/4?
0.25.
Good. That's all you need to do. Okay? Can you guys handle that?
No.
No.
What about now?
Yeah, okay. I think I'm ready.
No.
So that's,
No, I can't. I just can't.
you literally can't even.
I just can't even.
All right, 9A, here we go. What is, so how do you say what?
Hey.
So you could say what is, how do you say 1%?
1%.
You put a 1 in that percent sign.
You could, but remember
1 over
percents
100.
are completely useless in math, so you have to change it.
0.
1 over 100 or
0.01.
0.01. Yep, you could do 1 over 100. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't mind multiplying by a fraction, you can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. And then of 16, when you do that on a calculator, what do you get?
A number. Actually, the actual calculation for this is, yeah.
Okay. Now, spoiler alert, if you find 1% of anything, you're just finding 100th, which is dividing by 100, which is moving the decimal over 2 places. So finding 1% of anything is easy. You just move the decimal over 2 places. Okay. Okay. Let's do B. What's 30% of 16? Well, you could do it the same way. 30% is 0.3 times 16, or you could just, since this is 1%, 30 of those, multiply that by 30. Either way, you're going to get the same answer. What's 0.3 times 16?
I don't know.
So if you did that on a calculator, remember 30% is just 0.3 of means multiply. 16 is 16, so 0.3 times 16 is 4.8. Can you guys handle that?
No.
Yeah.
What about now?
Yes, sir.
How about no?
What about now?
No.
You can't handle that?
Yes.
All right, boom. So number 10.
Yes, I can't handle that.
All right, let's meet back at Math 8.7. So let's look at number 10. I'm going to do a new thing over here for 10. So this is a big table. So most of this is going to be easy. What's the easiest kind of conversion in this table?
There's 6 letter things that goes all the way to F.
The percent thing. Just kidding. The decimal.
Yeah, going from percent to decimal or decimal to percent, you just move it left or right, 2 places. Okay, so if this is your fraction, decimal, percent, what do we got? So A is blank. And we just have a 0.3. Okay, so what do you want to do first? You want to do the fraction of 0.3 or the percent of 0.3? Okay, how do you change a decimal to a percent?
Move.
30%.
Yep, so 30%, boom, boom. 30%. Now what is 30% as a fraction?
3 over 10.
Yep, so remember 30% looks like this, but you can reduce that to 3 over 10. Don't forget to reduce. All right, next one, you start with the fraction. So since Xavier has his calculator handy, how do you turn a fraction into a decimal?
You don't.
That is the answer to a lot of the questions I asked.
Put the number there.
So how do you do that? How do you change a fraction 5/8 to a decimal?
5 point.
No,
0.5.
no,
0.805.
no. So, because that doesn't work, because a 1/2 is not like 1.2. What's 1/2 as a decimal?
0.2.
No,
Oh, 0.5.
0.5. So how did you get 1.5 from 1/2? I didn't see a 5 in there. What do you do? How do you change a fraction to a decimal? Anyone know? Emerson?
You divide the
Just
top.
divide
Yeah.
on your calculator. Do it, Xavier.
Divide by
5 divided by 8. What do you get?
Number.
Son of a. Whoa.
You get 0.625.
Relax.
I like that book.
Okay, can you remember that? Only one person knew it, or only one person said it. That doesn't mean only one person knew it.
Yeah, let's go. Emerson.
So if you forget, guys, if you don't know how to change a fraction to a decimal, write it down. Just divide 5 divided by 8. This is a division problem. That's what a fraction is. 5 divided by 8. So do that, and you get 0.625 on your calculator, which you are more than welcome to use. So how do you change a decimal to a percent?
Divide.
No.
You don't.
You move the decimal.
Move it. Now you're going here, but yeah, how do you change a fraction to a decimal? You divide. But now, since the decimal changes to percent, move it over 2 places. 62.5. Good?
Yeah.
All right, last one. You start with the 45%. How do you change that to a fraction and a decimal?
You move that.
All right, let's do that easy one. That's just F there, which is just 0.45. You have one more left. How do you find the fraction? Xavier,
Mr. Flack, do you have a Band-Aid?
if you can tell me what this is, I will reward you with a Band-Aid. How do you change a percent to a fraction?
45.
45 over 100.
Okay, and then you can reduce it.
Yeah.
I think 5 goes into both of those. 9 times and 20 times.
I'm kind of bleeding out here.
That's it. Good job.
Seriously though, look at this.
That is so interesting. How?
I shredded it on my box.
Xavier's bleeding out in the corner.
Ow.
What
I
did you
shoved
do?
my hand down inside there.
What did I do?
Shredded it on the bolts.
Why don't you go wash it first in the bathroom and then put that on, okay?
What did I do?
What did I do? Surf the subway. My last message on the internet.
Don't disrespect me because I am conventionally wonderful.
Maybe if you would dispose of that.
Okay, guys.
Air style.
How do we get F by itself? We have to, that's how we solve this equation, right? What do we do?
You divide 2/3
You do stuff by doing stuff.
7/2.
Austin, what does Alt F4 do?
Okay, so what am I gonna, let's change this to an improper fraction. What is that?
7/2.
7 halves.
So we're gonna divide both sides by 7 halves. That will cancel that, right? How do you divide by 7 halves?
You copy.
Copy, dot, flawed.
Copy dot flop. So F equals 2/3 times 2/7, right? So far? So what's my answer?
20 firsts.
Good. Questions? You feel good?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to number 12. Erase this half.
You should be like
Austin, why don't you write it down?
no.
Then you got all the 3 answers.
All of the three.
Did anyone else finish this before today?
No.
I finished
Okay.
half of it.
All right, number 12. 5 over S
What the? What?
equals 10 over 14. Anyone know what S is?
You use the fishing method.
You could,
It's
yep.
Fishing away.
So how do you do the fish method?
5 times
5 times
14
14.
You do the
divided by 10.
you do the
Okay.
official.
So S equals 7.
Oh. Everything.
So 5 times 14 is 70. Divided by 10 is 7. Anyone know another way?
The reverse fish method.
No.
What's the reverse?
The 7
It's where you do the
times
fish
10
method, but
divided
it's
by
actually the
14.
Yeah, because look, 5 times 2 is 10. So what times 2 is 14?
Oh yeah, it's way
7.
easier.
So that's the equivalent fraction method. So you can use that or the fish method. The fish method always works, but you end up having bigger numbers, right?
Yeet.
70 divided by 10. But
So,
you, if you have this situation, that's a nice little shortcut, okay?
Better yet.
just don't.
Tanisha would call
All right, number 13.
How do you do math? You don't.
So you have to simplify this. So order of operations says parentheses first, then roots and exponents come next, right? So let's do parentheses first, shall we?
Brain surgeon.
Hey, I have full function in my hand again.
No way.
You guys want to try this?
I'm all better.
Yeah, I'll try it. Okay. Here, let's
I
see
know
here.
the answer, Mr.
The
Flash.
square thingy.
What'd you get?
May go to the restroom. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm working on it.
I'm doing mine.
Oh, I did it wrong.
Better be a free problem.
Well,
So do the parentheses first. What do you get?
12.
that 12? Okay, so that's 12. So I'm going to copy down everything else the same.
Ugly stuff.
Okay, what do you do after parentheses?
Exponents.
Exponents. Okay, where are my exponents?
2 to the 4th power.
Yep, and this is considered just like multiplication and division are the same. Exponents and roots are the same. So what's the square root of 25?
5
5. So you have 8 minus 5 plus 4 times, what's that?
16.
Good.
Whoa.
Emerson, you're on fire today.
That's a free problem set.
Okay, what do you do after exponents?
Multiplication.
Multiplication and division.
What's 8 divided by 6?
We do those two things, right? What's 4 times 16?
Times 16. My bad. 64.
64, good. Minus what's 12 divided by 6?
2.
2, so 8 minus 5 plus 64 minus 2.
3. 65. What? Amongst us. Wait. 71. Oh, I was right.
65.
I caught your mistake, Mr. Flack.
I didn't make a mistake yet.
Put a 7. Oh,
Mr. Flack, earlier you said it squared inches instead of squared millimeters.
Oh,
yeah, that was a mistake.
that's because someone told me it was inches. Didn't they?
We're actually on problem 15. You did a mistake.
Okay, divide. This is kind of silly because what can you use for number 14?
A calculator.
Calculator. Okay, but if not, you can just move the decimal over 2 places in the divisor as long as you move it over 2 places in the dividend. See what I did?
Huh?
I just moved that over to the 7
Oh, yeah.
and then moved that decimal up there. So this is where the decimal goes. 7 goes into 10 one time. Goes into 38 5 times. Goes into 35 5 times. So here's my answer, 15.5.
Your answer is not mine.
That's your opinion. Oh, I hope it's your answer. Okay, number 15, we ready?
Number 15.
So do parentheses first. Order of operations still apply to fractions. So do what's inside the parentheses first. 2 6/7 minus 5/8. This is going to be kind of a pain. Yeah.
Make it into a other fraction.
Yep, you need a common denominator, right? What's the common denominator?
56.
Yep, so that's a pain, but please don't add these together, right? You don't want to add those together because addition comes after multiplication. Everybody look up here. Everybody look up here. Everybody look up here. This is what a lot of you did wrong on your last test. Do not add those together. You have to wait and get this answer because you have to multiply before you add. Okay? So I know it's tempting to just say 5/5, but you can't. Don't do it. All right, so my common denominator is 56. So this is 2 and 48 56 minus 35 56. All I did was change that 7 to a 56 by multiplying by 8. So I multiply the top 6 by 8. Make this a 56 by multiplying by 7. So multiply the top by 7. Okay?
No.
So now I can do this. I can do this. 48 minus 35, what's that?
I put a haircut on it.
Franklin.
I went to the barber shop, got an
That
afro.
is
and a beard.
13 56.
So now it's an each of them.
Okay, so now what?
then you.
Now what, Ben?
You do the multiplication.
Okay, so can I multiply by a mixed number?
No, you have to convert it.
Yeah, make it an improper fraction. So this is 1/5 still, just leave that hanging around, time plus 4/5 times, what is that? 112 plus 13 is 125 56. Whew, that's a big fraction. That's kind of annoying, but that's all right. Let's cross reduce. Look, you can reduce both of these. 5 goes into 125, 25 times. 4 goes into 56, 14 times. That worked out nice. So now I can add, well, you need another common denominator. What a pain in the butt. So this is 1/5. Now I add these together, I get 26/14. So now I need a common denominator again. Well, they have nothing in common, so multiply them. Times 14. Times 14. This is times 5 times 5. So this is 14. What is 5 times 14? You guys know?
Oh,
70?
What?
26 times 5 is 130. All over 70. So now add them together, you get 144 over 70, which is 72 over 35. And we're done, finally. What a crazy problem. That was a lot of work. I don't like adding fractions.
So don't.
I don't mind multiplying and dividing fractions, but adding fractions with those annoying denominators is annoying.
I have a question. I
Yeah,
have a question. Why are you a math teacher?
because I love math.
But you don't like adding fractions.
Yeah, but I like that the least, but it doesn't mean I won't do it.
Yeah.
All right, number 16. Look at how long 15 took. That was a long problem. Okay, first thing I'm going to do in 16 is what?
Baffled.
Copy dot flop.
Nope, we have nothing to flop yet.
Interchange to an improper fraction.
Yes, so I'm going to go 6/5 divided by 7/6 times 7/4 divided by 7/3.
Oi!
So I didn't flop anything yet. Now I'm going to convert my division problems to a multiplication problem. So I'm going to copy
Floppy.com.
dot flop,
Frankly, finally got rid of it.
copy dot flop. See what I did?
Yes, sir.
Now I'm going to take out my red pen of death
Yay!
Cross.
and cross cancel a few things. 2 and 3. That's it. That's all I got.
Can you cancel the 3 and the 7?
No. So 54 over 35. That's it. Not very satisfying, but
Not swaggy.
that's all right.
Not swagger.
Swaggy.
No, it's not swaggy, it's swagger.
Swaggy.
Swagger.
Okay, what do you want to do in number 17?
It's just
I know, I
swag.
don't want to do number 7.
You change to an improper.
Swagger.
You could if you wanted to. It doesn't hurt. But since you're adding, you don't need to. You just need common denominator. So I'm going to write it vertically.
Well,
12.
6 1/2, 3 3/4, 1 5/6. What's the common denominator? 12. Okay.
Called it.
I said for you.
So what do you have to multiply the 2 by? 6. So 1 times 6 is 6. What do you multiply the 4 by?
3.
So 3 times 3 is 9. Multiply this by 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Add them up and you get 25/12. What? And then you get 10 and 25/12. If you leave it like that, are you wrong?
no.
No, but you're not. You're only going to get half credit because this is a mixed number combined with an improper fraction that's ugly. So deal with that. How do you change this to a mixed number?
You just do.
Yeah.
It's
What's 1 plus?
Reduce.
2 and 1/12. So the 1/12 stays in the fraction land, and the 2 gets carried to there. So you get 12 and 1/12. Okay. That was involved.
I'm sorry. Rocket chair burning down a field in Karen's bones.
What are you wearing?
That's normal for me.
Yeah,
All right, guys.
we really do get it.
Almost done. 3 more problems. Subtract. So we need a common denominator again. What's the common denominator?
14.
No way.
Uh,
That's insane.
24.
I wasn't even looking.
So this is times 8 times 8. So 8 24ths minus times 3 times 3. Uh-oh. You can't subtract 8 minus 15. So what do?
You know.
yeah.
Oh, wait, actually.
Borrow.
Borrow from the 8. And how much did you borrow? Well,
Yeah.
you borrowed one big one, right?
A big one.
So 24, so change it to improper. You're basically borrowing 24 24ths, right? So you get 32 24ths. Now you can subtract, right?
Yay.
32 minus 15 is 17. 7 minus 7 is 0. So this is your answer. You don't have a whole number set because those cancel. Just peel. So far, so good. 2 more. 19. They give us J and they give us K, so we're just going to plug in J and K. So J is 9. K is 2. So how do you do that math?
9 times 2.
Not 9 times 2.
9 times 9, which is
Yeah, this is an exponent, so it means multiply 9 by itself. 2 times 9 times 9 is 81.
Get aggravated.
Does that feel all right? Don't make that mistake.
B.
Don't multiply by 2.
Aggravated.
Aggravating.
So 6th root of 64. What is the 6th root of 64?
Duct tape.
No,
sock?
8 times 8 is 64, and we've only done 2.
2?
So what number multiplied by itself 6 times
2.
is 2?
I guess
Because
that's about
2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 equals 64.
Hey, Mr. Flack, do you want some slightly used duct tape?
Yeah.
Okay, here you go.
Really?
Yeah,
That's like expensive stuff.
I don't use it.
I'll take
And I'll
it.
take it.
And I have another roll.
Thank you.
I'll
Just
take
throw it right
your honor
there.
roll. I got the rest of it.
Thanks for your cute.
Okay, guys, that's all I got.
Black math. Give me some math and I'll give you some flack. Black math.